And I'm here representing the National Association of Evangelicals, and the word evangelical actually means good news as well. And I'm very happy to be with you this morning. We've enjoyed getting to know many of you as we break bread together, and I wish you all a blessed Ramadan. As a Christian, I thank God that the United States is a country in which the God-given rights of every human being to live their lives before Almighty God as they understand Him without compulsion is respected. And I thank God that Americans are free to exercise their beliefs, not just on their own, but also within their faith communities. And that these faith communities are free to serve the broader societies that we just heard so beautifully illustrated, and to pursue the common good. Not just within the walls of their mosque or church, but in the public square as well. And I'm thankful that our government has not chosen one favored religion, as the Constitution indeed forbids. And I pray that this will never change. Both our religion and our society are weakened, not aided by government sponsorship of a particular religion. And I'm thankful as well that those who profess no belief in God or any religion are also free to pursue their vision of the good life without compulsion and without being required to pretend that they profess a certain series of beliefs. I believe that those who do not recognize and honor their Creator are mistaken, but I strongly defend their God-given right to make that choice, as I hope they will defend your rights and mine to live according to the dictates of our conscience and our faiths. Because of the deep commitment to religious freedom for all Americans of all faiths, the National Association of Evangelicals was pleased to join in an amicus brief in support of the Islamic Society of Basking Ridge, seeking to overcome unfair and illegal obstacles that the local zoning board had placed on those who simply wanted to build a mosque in which they could worship and gather as a community. And we're thankful that this case has now been resolved with an award of $3.25 million in damages and fees. So we hope that that will be a deterrent to other towns or jurisdictions that may want to violate the law. We were also pleased to join in other court briefs in support of Samantha Aloof in her quest to seek employment from Abercrombie & Fitch while wearing her hijab. And Gregory Holt, a Muslim prisoner who sought permission to grow a beard as he believed his faith required. These cases are symbolic of the broader need for our society to make reasonable accommodations for Americans of all faiths so that the right to the free exercise of religion is protected. Before joining the National Association of Evangelicals 8 years ago, I spent more than 25 years with World Relief, which is our humanitarian arm. 2 memorable years were spent in Indonesia, which, as you know, has the largest Muslim population in the world, where we assisted, along with my wife, in rebuilding after the tsunami. We also spent 7 years in Africa, which, despite some problem areas, is, for the most part, has Christian and Muslim peoples living together peacefully and cooperatively with mutual respect. And after many years spent here in the United States assisting refugees and immigrants from all different backgrounds, including many from Muslim backgrounds, we see how different groups are able to come together and live side by side. It's therefore very distressing personally to me, as I noticed to all of you, to hear divisive and sometimes hateful rhetoric being directed against Muslims or Muslim Americans. Such attitudes weaken, not strengthen our nation. They make us less, not more secure. And we pledge to work with you to build greater understanding among our diverse communities. Learning to recognize our differences is an essential step to harmonize pluralism. While it's sometimes fashionable to say that all religions have essentially the same beliefs and values, even a cursory study of comparative religion reveals that this is not the case. I believe that the man Jesus of Nazareth perfectly embodies what it means to be human and that he is fully God, and that his life, death, and bodily resurrection are central to restoring humanity into right relationship with God. This core belief has implications for all of my life. It's the good news that I gladly share with all who will listen. You may have other beliefs, quite different from mine. We disrespect our differences when we paper over them. If we all believe the same thing, then it isn't really much of an achievement to get along. The more challenging and urgent task is to recognize that we can indeed get along and deeply respect one another, either despite of or even in light of our very real disagreements. That's the beauty of American pluralism when we get it right. So events like this Suhoor breakfast are an important contribution to building understanding among our communities. And so I thank you to the Rumi Forum and to all of you gathered here for reaching out. And as you fast and pray this day and through the remaining days of Ramadan, may you meet the Almighty and most merciful God in an even deeper way.